Good morning, Magic players. Welcome to the morning show where we discuss all things Magic, although today we'll probably talk a lot about Modern Horizons too. Get your questions and discussion points fired up, and let's have a great talk this morning. And we also do Decklist reviews, so if you've got a 75 you'd like some feedback on, you better believe that you can submit it to us, and both myself and the community can give you some feedback. So brew up your cups of coffee, and let's brew up some Magic this morning. Welcome to Coffee and MTG for May 7th, 2021. I am your host, Nikachu, the Merfolk Master. And of course, we were hit with a bombshell. This sort of spoiler out of nowhere from Wizards of the Coast was very much welcome. It was a little debated. Not everyone's happy about it. But of course, as a lot of you are mentioning, Counterspell is coming to Modern Horizons 2, amongst other cards. Counterspell was a card that everyone thought would just be in Modern Horizons 1. I mean, oh yeah, Counterspell is definitely a lock in that set. We're definitely going to see Counterspell. And then it didn't happen. Oh, we got Prohibit or something? And when this thing got spoiled, I'm like, what's going on here? Prohibit? Is this what Modern needed? Come on, this thing has seen no play. So a lot of people are like, oh yeah, this is a Modern playable card. No, it is not a Modern playable. This is awful. This is absolute crap and has seen zero play since it got printed in Modern. No one plays with Prohibit. Counterspell. This is a card that, well, I mean, it's definitely it's an upgrade. You better believe that it's an upgrade over Mana Leak. So, but Control players, they're a little mixed. I don't know why. On one hand, okay, they've got the perfect Counterspell. They've got the perfect shell. On the other hand, they're like, I liked, trying to figure out what was the best 2-mana Counterspell. Maybe I want Mana Leak. Maybe I want Remand. Maybe I want Logic Knot. I mean, come on. I also think a lot of the decks that were playing Remand, they're still going to play Remand. They didn't play it to actually counter the spell. They played it so that they could loot, they could draw a card, dig deeper into their deck for more important things. For example, like some of the Scape Shift decks out there. So, yeah, Counterspell is now definitely part of the format. And well, anyway, I hope you guys got your Counterspells. I got 2 of these Japanese ones in foil just a few days before all of this got spoiled. I don't have a play set, but... And now all the fancy Counterspells, all of them, even the old fancy ones, they're all skyrocketing in price. But it doesn't matter. I mean, that's only if you need some flashy Counterspells. Only if you need flashy ones. I mean, Counterspell is still like pennies for the most part. But we'll go over more. That's not the only news. There's a lot of other news. So anyway, Massimo, good morning. Good morning, Sports. Good morning, Michael, James, Gold, Chris, Nathaniel, Mark Oliver. Good morning. Hopefully we get Stifle and Back to Basics next. I would much prefer Back to Basics than Stifle. Maybe they'll do it. I don't think it's likely, but it's possible. Stifle is very likely. Scrub and Scubs, good morning. Walter, good morning. Seafoam, Fraser, Cole, Lirock. I do have fresh air, that's right. Donald. My Cavernous Souls are super excited for Counterspells. Yeah, so, I mean, okay, so there's some people that are saying, oh, now the control decks are going to be unstoppable. Please, this is such a marginal upgrade to Mana Leak. It's better, yes. The Tron decks, the Amulet decks, they're going to hate a little bit more because they have all this mana and they can't play around Mana Leak. Maybe even the Burn decks are not going to like it because late in the game, their Lightning Bolt could play around Mana Leak, and those Mana Leaks are dead draws. But this is not going to put control deck. It's not like going to be a boost like Oko or Teferi Time Raveler or Teferi Hero of Dominaria or Jace the Mind Sculptor's unbanning. This is just taking the power of Mana Leak and pushing it up a little bit. But basically everything is going to be the same. I would say if you have never been able to play around Mana Leak, you don't care whether Counterspell is in the format or not. Now, let's say somehow this encourages a lot of people to go in the control route. Yes, decks with Cavernous Souls are going to be a lot happier. Although, as a Merfolk player, I can't play too many Cavernous Souls and play Counterspell at the same time if I want to. And just for the Merfolk players out there, Counterspell is part of our toolbox now, but doesn't necessarily mean that it's a snap include. It's definitely better than Deprive. Like, it's definitely better than Deprive. Deprive is... I mean, it tempos us out, but it's a necessary evil. But that doesn't always mean that I even want to play Deprive in the first place. Good morning, Benjamin, Kellen, Bruno, Ziegel. Haircut or just a good hair day? No, I definitely got a haircut. A good hair day is when my hair just disappears. Anyway, what else? Okay, we can answer some questions, and then we'll go on to some of the other cards that got spoiled today. Mobile Enthusiast says, what are your thoughts on the new Modern Horizons 2 Urza's Legacy? I think you mean Urza's Saga. I think it can be busted. You can activate any ability in response of the lore counter before it gets sacrificed if you want. I guess you can, can't you? True story. Oh, that is such a good point. I could do that at the up. No, it won't work so well. Because, okay, so let's get into that one. We'll go into Urza's Saga. Talk about this one next. Because it's not going to be so easy to do what you're proposing to do. Now, this is a unique card. Enchantment Land. Is this the first Enchantment Land? I think this is the first Enchantment Land. I can't think of any other ones off the top of my head. It is a saga, so you have to you add a lore counter? Yeah, lore counter every turn at the upkeep. Oh, sorry, no, after you draw. There's an after you draw card, after your draw step. But before you get to your main phase, which is important. If you play it on turn 1, you can add it for mana, but on turn 2, you can't use the Urza Saga gains to pay 2, tap, create a 0/0 colorless construct artifact creature token. With this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. It's the same construct that Urza High Lord Artificer made. So the point is, turn 2 you can't play this thing, and then turn 3 you have to sacrifice it. Search your library for an artifact card with convert mana cost 1 or 0/1, put it onto the battlefield, and shuffle your library. Then you got sacrifices. So you never, if you play this turn 1, and try to tutor early and fast, you have no way of using the Urza Saga crate constructs. If you play it on turn 2, you can. So on turn 2, you play on turn 3 you can create a construct. Turn 4 you can create a construct, and you get an artifact onto the battlefield. So I think it still could be busted. It could still be busted. I'm a little concerned Amulet wants to play this card, because they are guaranteed to have an Amulet on the battlefield if they play it on turn 1. Like, turn 1, they might not do anything, but you know what? Amulet does. There's a lot of turns where Amulet does nothing. It could be like maybe turn 1 is too strong, because they probably still want to play with a Boreal Grazer or something. But do not underestimate the fact that if they have turn 3 Amulet, that they can do really bonkers stuff. I don't like this card outside of Eldrazi-tron. I don't even know what Eldrazi-tron would do with it. Or a 2x and mid-range shell that can move her the L. I mean, it will probably be played... I mean, probably some Urza deck will try to use it. Probably some Urza deck. Yeah, we do have Counterspell coming. A lot of people are excited for Counterspell. Finally, the iconic card, Counterspell, in the format. So I think this card has the potential of being very, very good. Because, make no mistake, I mean, you're tutoring for nothing. You're spending no mana on this tutor. Absolutely nothing. And in fact, you get mana out of this. You tap it. It gives you mana. And it tutors for you at the same time. So I think these are pretty busted abilities. Would some sort of affinity deck play this in some way? You search your library for, I don't know, Signal Pest or something. Put on the battlefield. Or maybe a Hammer? Could Hammer Time use this? Turn 3 guaranteed Hammer? No, you'll still need like a Pure Steel Paladin to get it on. But I mean, like, it's colorless, so it's not that big of a cost. And it comes into play untapped. You gotta sack the thing anyway. Maybe Hardened Scales. Well, I don't know. Maybe Hardened Scales could use it. Anyway, it's very, very interesting. Very interesting. So, Mitch J asks, yo, Nikachu, good morning, Modern Horizons 2. Super excited for fetch reprints. I mean, we could get directly into that, too. So there's going to be, the fetch lands are getting reprint. Where are the fetch lands? So a lot of cards being reprinted, but the fetch lands are getting reprinted with new borders. Oh, we can't see the new borders here. So let's go look up Misty Rainforest. Not only are the fetch lands getting reprinted, you can get extended border, but also old border. So you can get you can get your fetch lands in super style with the old border treatment. Oh, by the way, thanks for the super chat. Thanks for the super chat, Mitch. So if you wanted to spice up you want to really pimp out your deck, you got it here at Modern Horizons. Let me get to some older questions. I'm going too far back here. Donald asks, is the new land, Urza Saga, a spell or a land? I don't know if I can counter it. No, it's a land. It's going to be a land. This is 1000% a land. It's a land that happens to be an enchantment. It's like, what's it called? Dryad of the Elysian Grove, which happens to be... It's a creature, but it's also an enchantment. You're not going to be able to counter this. It's not like you cast this. You're just going to play it like any other land. Chris says, got my foil etched Japanese playset. Nice. I'm assuming that's in response to Counterspell. Yes, I have, I got 2 foils of this. That's all I got, though. Don't have enough. Hey, Rudy. Is Counterspell good? Yes, it is very good. It's a good card. Wedge Boy, what's your opinion on Storm Kiln Artist? Never heard of it, so my opinion's not going to be good. What format? Gets +1/+1 Magecraft. This is 4 mana. It's like a completely 4 mana 2/2. It's completely unplayable in Modern. It's a bulk uncommon. MTG Ectoplasm, what are your thoughts on Portable Hole? Spirits players are excited for this card coming to Death and Taxes. That's actually a good question. So, I think this is coming out in the D&D set. So this is a new card, Spoiled. I think it's a snap instant staple for Modern. This is a snap instant staple. This is going to be... I think it's going to replace Path to Exile in some decks. So here's the deal. It's like... enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent opponent controls with mana value 2 or less until Portable Hole leaves the battlefield. So it's a very strong effect. The problem is that it is an artifact, and that the decks that you would play this against, like Shadow or Prowess, they have artifact hate. Now, will they bring it in against you? I don't know, but like a Braid is readily available. You know, they're bringing in a Braids. Shadow, they're bringing in Kolaghan's Command. So it's not like On Thin Ice, where On Thin Ice is basically like hard removal. This might be just temporary removal. But it's a pretty good card. It's definitely going to see Modern play. Pretty good card. D-Tie Gaming. If those leaks were accurate, we might see Council's Judgment. Yeah, what is... No. Solitary. Okay, so here's the thing. Prid 3 prophesized... Can I find it? So Prid 3 prophesized Counterspell. Where's Counterspell? So Prid 3 prophesized Counterspell. What the hell is the Death and Taxes card that has just been spoiled? Sanctum Prelate. So he's prophesized Sanctum Prelate, but also prophesized, I think, what, Solitary Confinement? And one other one. Okay, so this one was also prophesized by Prid 3, leaked by Prid 3. So this is very likely is going to be very likely is going to be in Modern Horizons 2, and also Shardless Agent. These were all Prid 3's prophecies. Counterspell, Sanctum Prelate, Solitary Confinement, Shardless Agent, and a few other cards that were not actual cards that we know about yet. But the point is, like, of all the cards that are, like, very likely to happen, it appears to be Shardless Agent and Solitary Confinement are cards. We're going to see Solitary Confinement, and we probably are very, very likely going to see Solitary Confinement and Shardless Agent come to Modern. That's a very high likelihood of that happening. Fraser T, after seeing your tweet, I got my foil counterspells about 10 hours before the announcement. I owe you at least a few super chats. Oh, thank you very much, Fraser. But oh my god, I still didn't get my other two. I didn't think Wizards would start, even if they did start spoilers like next week. I didn't think they'd go to counterspell so quickly. But instead they spoiled counterspell, so I wish I got my counterspells earlier. I didn't get my counterspells earlier enough. I didn't even care about the Strixhaven promo cards until yeah, so like I made a post. These are gorgeous in foil, by the way. They're really, really good. The foiling on Strixhaven Mystical Archive, it's perfect. It's very, very perfect. Very, very nice. So I mean, if you went in on it, when I went in on it, you profited off of it, because now, like, let's look at TCG Player. Prices of like these counter spells. I think there's only one available for like $1,000 or something stupid. Like there's just basically none. Yeah, there's like none here. Just the Magic Fox trolling everyone for 1,000. Do you want it? $1,000. Only one available. Yeah, right. But people will start posting them. I don't know for what price. We don't know what the price of these cards are anymore. So if you want promo versions of Counterspell, I'm sure the old foils are going to skyrocket. Everything's going to skyrocket. We are not done with the... But anyway, all those others, Standstill, Stifle, Price of Progress, Chain Lightning, those are still not confirmed, because Prid 3 did not prophesize those. That's just very, very important. So when I made my video, Prid 3 prophesized these 4 cards: Shardless Agent, Solitary Confinement, Sanctum Prelate, Counterspell. But Prid 3 had no involvement in any of those other prophesized cards. Although, well, I think Sanctum Prelate was on the list. Was on that big list of Price of Progress and all those other things. And Shardless Agent was also, well, Shardless Agent was on that list, but Shardless Agent isn't proven yet. Yes, the second leak, well, some of the cards are there. Some of the cards are there. Some of the cards. And if Shardless Agent shows up out of nowhere, like, maybe the rest of it's going to fall into place. Papa Joe says, suppose those leaks are all legit. Is Modern going to increase in power level by at least a few notches? Oh, of course. Of course. It's going to be the exact same thing as Modern Horizons 1. That's why everyone's anticipating this set. Like, you know they're going to rock the boat. This is the rock the boat set. They are here to rock boats, people. They're going to push giant ships into... They're going to wedge them into the side of a canal and then back everything up. I don't know, maybe that's not a good analogy. It's a crappy one. But anyway, they are... This is going to be an earth. They're going to shake things up here. Definitely. Okay, that's not the only thing spoiled. Like, there's a lot of interesting cards spoiled. We got Brainstone. I don't know how much this is going to see play. It's basically Brainstorm on an artifact. You pay 1 for the artifact, pay 2, tap, sacrifice, draw 3 cards, put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. If you have a way of recurring this from the graveyard, maybe it's okay. I don't know how well it would work with Lurrus. I think Mishra's Bauble for nothing is probably just better than this. But I mean, if a Lurrus deck needed more good artifacts, maybe this is it. I'm not going to doubt the power of putting 2 garbage cards back on top of your library and then fetching them away. Mauricio asks, since Counterspell is now legal and Wizards of the Coast told that 42 new to modern reprints are coming, can we for sure expect more powerful spells? Absolutely. Of course. Modern is dead. Long live Modern. Kyle asks, how many cards from the set will be banned after 1 month or 1 year? Looking for hot takes. I would wait 3 months before they ban anything. Unless there's something really... even when things are really atrocious, they just drag their ass on it. How many cards, though? After one... Okay, so I would say after 1 month, nothing. They'll never ban it. Oh, I don't... They'll ban nothing from the set in 1 month. That's my prediction. And they might ban 1 or 2 cards after a year. That's possible. It's going to be Legacy without the reserve list cards. That is a possibility. Like, that's a real we don't know it yet, but maybe over 10 years, maybe Modern is just going to become reserved list, non-reserved list Legacy. That might be the future of Modern in the deep, deep future. It's like they just keep putting more Legacy cards into the format, and they put more Legacy cards, and all of a sudden, we're basically playing Legacy, but minus, Tropical Island and Volcanic Island. And any of the other reserve list cards. Anyway, so we have another card. This is an interesting one. They printed Lion's Eye Diamond into Modern, but in the form of a creature. A kitty! Diamond Lion. 2 mana. 2/2 creature. Tap. Discard your hand, sacrificed Diamond Lion, add 3 mana of any one color, activate only as an instant. So basically you have to tap. You have to basically activate this first, discard your hand, and then you get the mana. Now, I'm very skeptical about this card. I think this card is going to be something very similar to Cabal Therapist. I think it's be very similar to Cabal Therapist, where, oh yeah, that looks pretty good, and then it didn't see any play at all. Because it was way too restrictive. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, what are you kidding me? Diamond Lion has a few problems. Problem number 1, it's a creature, which means you don't even get the mana by even turn 2. Problem number 2, you gotta wait a whole turn. Well, I guess it's in line with the same problem. You can't sacrifice this thing immediately. You gotta wait. It has summoning sickness, so you gotta wait a turn. Then you get to tap, discard your hand. That makes it a liability. Because if your opponent kills it, if you built your deck around this card, and you've got like Echo of Eons or other cards that go to the grave that you want to go to the graveyard, and then they kill your Diamond Lion, then you might be just stuck with unplayable cards in your hand. So I think this might be the Cabal Therapist of the set. Still super powerful. Still super, super powerful. It's possible that this card could... I mean, this could be a huge card in Modern, or it could be a huge dud. Chris Ross, thank you very much for the super chat. Sanctum Prelate plus Lumimancer equals White Human Tribal, maybe? I don't know if Lumimancer wants to play with Sanctum Prelate, because it's a pretty clunky card. Lumimancer depends on spells. Like, Sanctum Prelate will probably go into some sort of, like... It could go into humans. It could go into Death and Taxes as well. But I don't think it'll go into a prowess-like type deck. Do you think any other Mystical Archive cards will be in this set? What would you ask for? That is a great question, Kyle. That is a fantastic question. Where is, like, Mystical Arc... Can we see the Mystical Archives? Where's Mystical Archives? If we get to see them at all. Where is it? Is it like in Strixhaven? Because here's the deal. I bought... I think it would be a good idea for people to scour the Mystical Archives for playable cards. Okay. Because here's the deal. I'll tell you why I bought Counterspell a few days ago. Because Abundant Harvest... Where's Abundant Harvest? Where is Abundant Harvest? Still can't find it. Here it is, Abundant Harvest. Apparently, Abundant Harvest was a Modern Horizons card that accidentally got leaked early. And that got me thinking, okay, what else is in this set that probably is trying to tell us something? And I'm like, Counterspell. Counterspell's in this set. Where's Counterspell? Oh god, would they print Brainstorm? No, I don't think so. They just printed that Mind Stone thing. I can't find Counterspell in here. So here's Counterspell. So I'm like, this is possible. So anyway, that's why I hopped onto the I did want I wanted this fancy Counterspell anyway. I did want it. Like, I was planning on buying this thing. So I'm like, well, I better buy it now before it gets like spoiled for Modern Horizons. So there was always that possibility. I most certainly hope not Dark Ritual, but could be possible. So like, what else is here? I mean, it's a good idea to scour this. Like, what are the non-modern cards on this list that maybe they could print into Modern? I'm not sure what. But I was motivated to buy my Counterspells before spoiler season because of Abundant Harvest. I was thinking, well, if Abundant Harvest is like foreshadowing something for Modern Horizons, maybe they're trying to foreshadow other cards in here. Who knows? Maybe Swords to Plowshares is coming. Who knows? I think that would be a crime, though. That would be... Replacing Mana Leak, I don't think is much of a crime. Replacing Path to Exile, I think, is a bit of a crime. Especially since Path to Exile already sees, like, a lot of play. A lot of play. So anyway, just something for people to think about. It's possible that the Strixhaven Mystical Archives were, like, foreshadowing some printings into Modern Horizons. What else? There's still... Am I not missing one more spoiler? Maybe have I gone through all the cards? No, maybe I went through all the cards. Went through the diamond one. One other thing, if people cared, Fable Passage is coming as a promo somewhere, sometime, somehow. I don't know how. So you can get classic border, foil, Fable Passage, pimp out your Pioneer deck or whatever. It's a staple in that format. I can't remember how you get this thing. I wasn't paying close enough. After the Modern Horizons news, I was sort of tuning out of the big, what's it called? The big announcement. They had a lot of announcements. There were a lot of announcements there. So anyway, that's Modern Horizons 2. There's been a lot of comments, so I couldn't get back to the old ones. In fact, back on the table with Swords to Plowshares. I mean, probably not. I don't think Swords to Plowshares helps them. And they need defense better than they need offense. I mean like defense for your creatures. Kyle asked Nikachu on Scryfile search. Oh no, I found it. Thanks. I needed that earlier though. With STP, what? With Sanctum Prelate and Recruit of the Guard, mono white taxes would be insane. Maybe. It's possible. You don't have room for everything, and you still need to have some room for like Skyclave Apparition. Too many 3-drops, not good in a deck with Aether Vial. Or I guess it's okay. D-Tie Gaming, if you spend $50 or more at your local game store, you can get the old bordered foil Fable Passage. Oh, that's how you get it. Okay. It was like a way of encouraging people to spend money at your local game store. How many brand new cards are coming in Modern Horizons 2? I don't remember. I think someone mentioned 42. It's going to be a lot of cards. Hey, sir. Nikachu, what do you think of Infect playing the hammer for the insta-kill? It's clunky. Like, how do you get the hammer? You need to play white. Crazy White Guy, are you sure Urza's Saga loses its tap for a mana ability turn 2? It doesn't specify until end of turn. No, it doesn't. It's not that it's losing it. It's just that you don't have any mana by turn 2. So let's go... let's look at Urza's Saga. here's the deal. So turn 1, you can add a mana. Turn 2, you get the ability, pay 2, tap this land, create a construct. But the problem is you don't have 2 mana by turn 2. You have Urza's Saga and 1 random land, so you actually don't have the mana available to use this ability. Then turn 3, you have to sacrifice this after your draw step. So you still didn't get that second land. So this tap and pay 2, this pay 2 tap will only work if Urza's Saga was your second land, your turn 2 land drop, is what I'm saying. So if you play this thing on turn 2, you can add mana. Turn 3, you play a land and you can get a construct, and then you could play it one more time at your upkeep or before the end of your draw step on turn 4. So that's what I'm saying. But if you play this turn 1, you can't make use of the second lore counter ability. I think both Lantern and Hardened Scales will play the Urza land, especially Lantern getting 1 mana hate piece like Needle or Cage is super nice. Wow, that is a great idea. Yeah, being able to, I mean, at the very least, it's not card disadvantage. That's such a really good point. This card is not card disadvantage. But you have to wait till turn 4. But anyway, not card disadvantage, because you're just exchanging the Urza Saga for another card. And you don't spend any mana for this. What the hell? Maybe? Could they give us Wasteland? Could Wasteland be coming up? Is that a possibility? This land is getting more and more powerful the more I look at it. So is it time to get Natural Order? I don't know. I don't know about that. D-Tie Gaming, Woods of the Coast announced that they're uplifting and allowing sanctioned events again at local game stores. I think only in some areas, and it's not up to them. It's up like to the, like to the areas that I guess that are in best condition. That's what's happening. Personally, where I am, it's still like COVID hell, so no one's going anywhere. What do you think of Renegade Rallier in Modern? It's a very good card. It's a staple. It's a great card. Played in a lot of decks. Is Recruiter of the Guards possible still? Yes. So all those, I would not take all those other spoilers off the table, because the other spoilers, you know, the Price of Progresses, the Recruiter of the Guard, 2 cards that were on that list were I think Sanctum Prelate was on that list, if I'm not mistaken. And also Shardless Agent, and also Prid 3 also said Shardless Agent. But still, we haven't seen a Shardless Agent. Maybe that still isn't going to happen. But I'm pretty sure Prid 3 is right about Shardless Agent, given the, you know, nailed Counterspell, and the Buy a Box promo Sanctum Prelate. So the other spoilers, still possible. Still possible. We could still see some super busted cards enter Modern. Is it possible to introduce a limited list like Vintage in Modern? You mean like cards you can only play as a one of? I would love to see that. I would love to see like restricted cards in Modern, but I don't know. They only want to do that in Vintage. Matt at VHS, you think Legacy Painter may like Urza Saga? It can get Grindstone, LED, Lotus Petal. Maybe. So long as they can survive till turn 4. Urza Saga gonna see a ton of play in Legacy and Vintage, for sure. What coffee are you drinking? I am not acknowledging the brand of coffee. Everyone else, you can all say the coffee. I'm not going to help the YouTube algorithm help this brand of coffee. I asked for sponsorship. They didn't give me anything. Maybe I should ask again. I should say, look, we got 400. When I talked to you before, we had like 80 people watching. Now we got 450 people watching. Give me sponsorship. They didn't want to sponsor me at the time. They probably have more money now. The coffee probably boomed for the coffee makers. You gotta stay at home. You gotta make your own coffee. Coffee probably boomed. Can't drink coffee outside. You with your mask on, you look stupid. You got your mask on, you got your coffee. Now what are you gonna do? Can't drink that coffee. Phyrexia Dreadnought. I don't think isn't that. I want to say that's reserve list. Yeah, it's part of the reserve list. This thing's never getting reprinted. Not getting reprinted. I was there for the live show when they were spoiling all this Modern Horizon stuff, and one of the most common like messages in Twitch chat was like, when are you abolishing the reserve list? A reserve list getting abolished? There was a lot of reserve list commentary that they just completely ignored. They did not even acknowledge the reserve list there. Oh, Urza Saga can tutor Phyrexian Dreadnought. Oh, that's a yeah, but how? Like, what use would it be? Trample comes into play. Sacrifice any number of creatures with total power 12 or more, or bury Phyrexian Dreadnought. I mean, like, you still got to do that, right? Whenever it enters the battlefield, it doesn't matter how it entered the battle. You're not cheating it into play effectively. I mean, you're just gonna blow it up. I don't think it works that way. Yeah, port possibly more likely, but that doesn't change the ability of Urza Saga. Urza Saga would still crack and tutor. I don't think they'll do Wasteland with Wrenn and 6, or they do and they just ban Wrenn and 6. That would actually be a disaster. So many people would be pissed about that because Wrenn and 6 is very expensive, and Wrenn and 6 sees more play. I mean, basically can only see play in Modern, and it sees a lot of play in Modern. So you know what? That's true. Wasteland's probably an impossibility, or it'd be foolish. Urza Saga does suck versus Blood Moon. Can we talk about how big of a downgrade is the new set logo? I don't think it's too bad. I mean, I would say it is worse than... Here's the deal. I actually hate most of the logos that Wizards makes for these sort of master sets. I'm fine with this one. It's not the greatest. It's definitely not the greatest. The OG Modern Horizons had a way better logo. It's okay. This one's okay. It could have been bad. I really hate the ones that are like X. I hate those X ones. Let's get like a Tarmogoyf. Where's... Ugh. I hated this logo. This one over here. This was awful. I hate anything that resembles an X. I think it's like a really overdone. It's too overdone. I don't like it. Urza Saga and Wrenn and 6, too clunky due to colors needed or pure value town. I think it'd just be too slow. So I mean, if you get if you sack Urza Saga by turn 4, and then you get it back with Wrenn and 6 and you play it, I mean, you're waiting until like turn 1,000,000. And not only that, you are likely playing an artifact deck. And if you're playing an artifact deck, I don't think Wrenn and 6 has any business in it. I know I'm late, but nice haircut. We need a top 5 best haircuts in MTG. NG Falconwrath? I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is in reference to, so I don't really have anything to say. Haste, discard a card, draw a card. Whenever you discard a card, if it has Madness, untap NG Falconwrath. Probably not Wasteland, probably Rishadan Port. I guess we're just... Urza Saga is just going to do its thing. You're just going to have to, like, Field of Ruin it in time. And you will have time for Field of Ruin. Because even if they're on the play... No, you don't have time for Field of Ruin. If they are on the play... Turn 2... yeah, you'll get it off turn 3. It's too slow. Field of Ruin on the draw is not going to stop Urza Saga. Fable Passage, beginning June 18th, or when sanctioned play returns to local stores near you, purchase 50 USD or greater of sealed magic product to find this promo in your hands. Nice. Yeah, so that's in reference to the Fabled Passage. How to get that gorgeous Fable Passage. Jack Torborg's like, 3 words: Counterbalance, Brainstone, and Luris. That actually, yeah, that could be a combo. That could be a serious combo. So maybe that is the shell where Counterbalance will lie. But the problem is, if you're playing a Counterbalance deck, no, I guess you could do that. You could do that. Yeah, Luris. But if you're playing a Counterbalance deck, I think you want Jace the Mind Sculptor. Like, I think that's what you want. But we'll see what happens. I think I answered this question earlier. Getting a lot of questions. Possible reprint of all the companions with the errata? Very unlikely. I would just say it's just impossible. It's not happening. Oops. The Rat King, would Brainstone be able to replace a Mind Stone, or is the mana MS produces too important to leave behind? Be able to replace Mind Stone? Oh, no. Mind Stone is played because it is ramp and card draw. Brainstone is not ramp. It is just like good card draw. Or not, I wouldn't say it's good card draw. It's good at digging for things, so it's not going to replace it at all. The decks that play Mind Stone will only play Mind Stone. Like for those turn 3 Karn the Great Creators, for example. Land, Mind Stone, turn 3 Karn the Great Creator. You can't do that with Brainstone. Brainstone is actually really slow. We need a parody of Blur's Coffee and TV as your new theme song. Do you think we could get a Tendrils of Agony in Modern Horizons 2? Yeah. That's possible. Was that one of the cards from Strixhaven? We absolutely could get Tendrils. Where's Tendrils? I think Tendrils was one of those mystical archive cards, right? If I am not mistaken. Or maybe not. It's not? Is it or is it not? Am I just missing it? I don't know what I'm... Oh, here it is. It is. So maybe this is foreshadowing something. Maybe this is foreshadowing something. This could be a modern playable card. Easily. This easily could be a modern playable card. Might be really hard to play too, because there's no Dark Ritual and no Lion's Eye Diamond in the format for this double black mana. I mean, I guess maybe it's not too hard. You can Manamorphose into the double black, but it would be harder. There's going to be some situations where your mana is cut off. Holy crap, there's a lot of questions here. You know what? I'll do one deck list review today. There's like so many comments. This is amazing. People are hungry for Modern Horizons content. So like I said, like Abundant Harvest, I thought prophesy something for Modern Horizons 2. That's why I bought into my counter spells. I think if we want to look for some potential spoilers, you'll look to the mystical archives of Strixhaven. I think there might be some hidden gems in here. This is a really good, this is a strong possibility. I'll just go to a random question. Gamer Geek, more possible green squirrel since one of the unofficial leaks showed a box art with squirrel on it. Yes, we'll see some squirrel action in this set. I'm not sure what. Maybe they'll make a squirrel planeswalker. Thoughts on Sneak Attack getting a reprint? Looks like a perfect card for the set in my opinion. It's not on the reserve list, and it was also one of the leaks. It was a card that was, well, unofficially leaked, so like maybe it will be, maybe it won't, but I think it would be totally fine. My opinion on Tendrils is that it doesn't make Storm better. It just makes it so that Storm doesn't dirtle forever when it's ready to win. I guess so. I think it's a pretty safe addition to Modern. Don't you think Blue X control decks will be too powerful with Counterspell? No, I genuinely believe Counterspell is just a very marginal. It's an upgrade, but it's not It's not an earth-shattering upgrade. Like clearly, you're gonna replace your mana leaks. Things are gonna be harder for Tron, Eldrazi, Tron, Amulet in some scenarios. Of course, Eldrazi, Tron, and Amulet also have Cavern of Souls, so they, in a lot of situations, they don't care. You know, that burn player in the late game, when they play their Lightning Bolt, it's gonna get counterspelled instead of, you know, playing into mana leak. or playing around Mana Leak. So it's an upgrade, but it's just a clear upgrade, but that doesn't mean that it's like it's pushing the win percentage like through the roof. For the most part, Counterspell is going to do the same things that Mana Leak did for years. Like, if you didn't have the mana for Mana Leak, well, now you still don't have the mana for Counterspell. It's the way I look at it. As a Twiddlestorm player, Tendrils of Agony would absolutely have a home there. It's a possibility, yeah. Mana Drain would be more devastating than Counterspell. That's correct. Mana Drain would be a very serious card. What do you think of the other D&D cards spoiled in the set yesterday? I don't think they're very impressive. I can quickly go over them. The only one that was interesting was the whole one. Because they're mostly commander cards, right? So that Tiamat, this is a commander card, nothing to say there. Vorpal Sword, commander card in my opinion. Well, I don't know. Single black can give +2/+0 and Death Touch. I don't know. Maybe some deck can play that, but for the most part, commander card. Prosperous Innkeeper is probably the closest to becoming a modern playable card. Does have a very useful ability where ETB under your whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain a life. So maybe those maybe the Yawgmoth deck could be looking at this, and you get some value with the treasure token. So, holy, would they really want that? Because you could ramp. Well, I mean, they got a lot of ramp for turn 4. Turn 3 Yawgmoth. But this is turn 3 Yawgmoth through removal. So if you play a Mana Dork and they kill it, you play Prosperous Innkeeper. Like, you're definitely getting that Yawgmoth. And then there's these new lands. So there's new basic lands where they've got like some text on it. It's like is this like the first time we're seeing flavor text on a basic land? Venturing beneath the desert sands, you've discovered an alien power pulsing with inconceivable energy. That's great. The hell does that mean? What does the island say? Alarmed by the news you brought, the storm giant king of the Maelstrom has called his kin to council. That was pure garbage. Not very interesting. Pyroblast in Modern Horizons 2, please. Reprints of Commander exclusives in Modern Horizons 2. We had Kess in Modern Horizons 1. What can we get next? There very likely is going to be some sort of reprints of Commanders. I don't know which ones, though. I'm not really familiar with Commander or what I'm looking for from Commander to get into Modern. I don't have a modern paper modern deck yet. Should I wait for Modern Horizons 2 to buy one? So there's two risks there. If you wait and the deck that you wanted was going to get really expensive, I don't know, like, so I don't know what your fears are, but if a deck you wanted to play got really good, and therefore it got really expensive because everyone's going to be buying into it, then you're going to have to pay more money when you buy into it. On the other hand, you don't care about price. You care about power level, and for that you should wait till Modern Horizons comes out. See what deck is going to be best after Modern Horizons and buy into it, but at a premium. So anyway, that's the best way I can answer that question. Do you think more Planeswalker Ultimate Escape, especially abilities, are going to be strapped on more equipment? For example, Vraska and the new D&D equipment? Probably. Probably they're going to experiment with stuff like that. If crop rotation comes in Modern Horizons 2, it'll be fine. It probably will. Hold on. You know what time it is, everyone? Unfortunately, I cannot find my... Where's my playlist? What time is it, everybody? Shit, I can't find my playlist. Oh, we're just gonna go with this one. Oops, it's a little loud. It's time for Decklist review. All right, everyone, you know how this works. If you've got a deck list, everyone, you want to submit it for review, go into my description. In my description, there is my Discord. In my Discord, join the channel Decklist Review, and then submit your list with the command !review deck space, give the URL to your deck list, and you'll be eligible to be chosen at random for Decklist Review. Counterspell in Modern makes me a happy Blue Moon player. Congratulations. I think a lot of the blue mages out there are very happy to see Counterspell. Do you think there's any chance for Baleful Strix to get printed in Modern Horizons 2? I want to say no, because they gave us Icefang Quaddle, so they might wait on Baleful Strix. They might wait on Baleful Strix. Anyway, as people are waiting to submit their deck list for... Sorry, as I'm waiting for everyone to submit their deck lists for Decklist Review, we are going to start by thanking our sponsors, FusionGamingOnline.com. The Canadian local game store, they got the deals for you. The deal of the week this week, save 15% off Old Time Spell Remastered. Singles and sealed product. You see boosters there. You can get... I think you can only get the boosters if you're from Canada. The sealed product only to Canada, but the singles go anywhere. They'll ship anywhere. They'll ship you Chalice of the Voids. They'll ship you Tarmogoyfs. They'll ship you Thoughtseizes, your Sliver Legions. Better believe you can get 15% off Fusion Gaming Online. If that isn't a good enough deal for you, well, I can sweeten that deal. Get an extra 5% off when you use coupon code Nikachu at checkout. Also lets them know I sent you. It's good stuff. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place to rent Magic cards online. You ask and you shall receive. You can borrow any single card that you want from Mana Traders. This is the place. This is the place you want to go if you want to play test your deck, or your play test your brew and make it the best it can be without buying and selling cards over and over again. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 15% off your first 2 months using my coupon code Nikachu. Save some money there. Save some money while you brew. You gotta, it's hard to brew. It's expensive to brew. If anyone's ever brewed, like, you know, in paper or online, I mean, it's not cheap. But it can be a lot cheaper with Mana Traders. Oops, there's my decklist review thing. Is there any deck that would ever play a full 4 counterspells? Yeah, like Control, Merfolk, Blue Moon. A lot of decks will play 4. You can proxy brew, but you play against better competition online. I don't get the counterspell hype. Is it really that much better than Mana Leak? Mana Leak is much easier to play in a multicolored deck. I don't think it's that much easier to play, but well, people just want counterspell. I mean, it is an upgrade. It's not a... I'm sort of in the same boat as you. It's not a massive upgrade, but it's an upgrade. Upgrade is an upgrade. You know, those control players are not going to lose to that last, I don't know, Lava Spike on turn 15 as they look at their hand and it's full of like spell snares and mana leaks, and the opponent has like an extra 7 mana available. All right, get your deck lists ready. Deck list review. Let's go. Wayman, congratulations. You are the next contestant on deck list review. Wayman. What do you have for us today? Zombie Infestation. Is Merfolk playing Counterspell? Yes. Maybe not immediately, but it'll be in our toolbox. Okay, we've got Cunning Survivor. Okay, hold on. What's the format first? Freeform. All right. Ponyland format, people. Basically, kitchen table. Wow, you're playing kitchen tabletop Magic with your friends and you're playing Hogak? What friend are you? Unbelievable. Okay, we got Cunning Survivor, Merfolk Looter, Shadow Storm Vizier, Voldarin Pariah, Gurmag Angler, and Hogak. Unbelievable. Obsessive Search, Chart a Course. You could play with Okay, you have Charter Course, Scour All Possibilities, Deep Analysis, Dread Return, 2 Treasure Cruise, Zombie Infestation. Discard 2 cards, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. What is this missing? You could play... How much is Careful Study for you? I'm guessing some parts of this deck are budget. Oh, this is not exactly the cheapest card. It actually costs like $3. Oh yeah, this is your deck? All right. So how do we improve this deck? We have Cunning Survivor. It's obviously budget. Look how far Hogak has fallen. $2 for 2 Hogaks. Okay, if you're playing Hogak, can you spend more money on Hogaks? Like, get in more Hogaks here. I mean, this card is like one of the best cards you can have. Although you do need creatures, right? If you don't play creatures to get it out, you're screwed. When you cycle or discard a card, it gets +1/+0 until end of turn. I have a feeling, and can't be blocked this turn. I have a feeling this is not a great card. Riffle Glitter is okay. Shadow Storm Vizier. Whenever you cycle or discard a card, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. This one's better than Cunning Survivor, because at least it has natural evasion. And it just gets bigger, period. Oh, that's interesting. Windfall. Is Windfall money, though? Well, Windfall's a little bit of money. This also depends on someone having a lot of cards in their hand. No. Will Careful Study be in Modern Horizons 2? No. Stitcher Supplier. Okay, Stitcher Supplier works very well. I actually don't mind Stitcher Supplier. I think it works well with Gurmag Angler. I don't know if we need this card. Draw card Madness. What can we dump here? Are you guys sure about Windfall? I guess it's fine. I mean, you could play it early and just dump your hand and maybe make these things a lot bigger. I don't mind Stitcher Supplier because it gives you something to... You don't have anything to do on turn 1, by the way. You have, like, nothing. Most of the time, you're going to do nothing on turn 1. You're going to play Obsessive Search, and that's it. I don't even think... I think you should be playing Careful Study instead of Obsessive Search. You could probably play some Windfalls instead of Deep Analysis. Is Stitcher Supplier money, though? Who's using Stitcher Supplier? Holy crap! It's $4! Damn it, we gotta spend money to make this deck better? There's gotta be something better we could do on turn 1, though. Instead of... Like, Ponder is better than this card, in my opinion. Any advice for the lands? I think you're fine on the lands, right? So you got 4 Pathways, 2 Dakmor Salvages, 4 Drowned Catacombs. You have a Fetid Pools, Island Swamp, Temple of Deceit. I think it's okay. At 21 lands, this is okay. Clarion Wind. I need the minds of the ponies here. Discard your hand, then draw that many cards. Okay, that's a pretty good suggestion here. Tolarian Winds is not bad. Oh, Thought Scour is actually maybe that's one of the best cards too. Thought Scour is a really good idea. That's got to be cheap. So you can Thought Scour yourself to fuel your Gurmag Angler and Hogak. Definitely play more Hogaks. I don't know about this Voldarin Pariah. When this creature transforms into a abolish, your target opponent sacrifices 3 creatures. That's a pretty strong ability. But how often are you getting this thing out? Oh, you want to Madness it into play. I mean, you need 21 black sources to pull that off, which you don't have. But you're close. You're actually at 19. Yeah, maybe you can like spot scour yourself. Okay, play like one pariah. Okay, and I guess I don't know. Go up another Cunning Survivor, I guess. Because I understand the synergy you're trying to create in this deck. We'll keep this. We'll take out the Merfolk Looter and play some other creature. Or take out Merfolk Looter, play Tolarian Winds. So you can discard your hand and draw that many cards. Play like 8 of these. Chart of Course seems okay, I guess. Obsessive Search. Replace this with Thought Scour. But we need another thing to do on turn 1. Can you please re-upload Nikachu news about Hogak sometime? I actually think, well, if you ask me for the link, I could send it to you, but I think I have to retire Nikachu news upon evaluating a lot of top YouTube channels. Could Hollow One work here? Like, maybe if you try to make it work here. Diamond Land would be perfect. Oh, well, not really, because you can't draw cards afterwards. So you just splurge your hand and then that's it. I would say you gotta look for another like 1-drop. This deck doesn't have enough 1-drops. Hands down, not enough 1-drops. So you get 8 1-drops in your deck. If you can, Stitcher Supplier is probably one of your best bets because this is the easiest way for you to get Hogak online within a reasonable amount of time. Is this Stitcher Supplier? I don't know if it does anything else for your deck, though. This requires you to have cards in hand to discard. Treasure Cruise is good. I mean, Treasure Cruise is so good. You should probably play with 4 of these. Although I guess the problem is you can't have too many of these Delve cards, or they're just not going to work well with each other. Albert says, great content for the modern community. You're welcome. So my suggestion, get Stitcher Supply in here, replace Obsessive Search with Thought Scour. You can keep Chart of Course, add more Hogaks. Probably take out the Okay, if you want to keep some Pariahs, play 2. Get rid of Merfolk Looter, add in like more Hogaks. Or maybe this is also the spot where we said you should play... Okay, instead of Merfolk Looter, play Stitcher Supplier. Get rid of Scour of all possibilities. Maybe add 1 more Treasure Cruise. Deep Analysis should be replaced by, I don't know, another Hogak or something. Maybe some Stinkweed Imps? Nah, it probably doesn't need any dredge cards. Look up Ruthless Sniper. Whenever you cycle or discard a card, you may pay 1. If you do, put a -1/-1 counter on target creature. I think this is unplayable. If it was free, it would be great. But I have to pay 1. In practice, you're just not going to have that mana. You're just not going to have that mana available. Anyway, hope that was some useful feedback there. Good luck with the deck list. There was definitely a lot of room for improvement there. All right, L. Congratulations, you're the next contestant on Decklist Review. You're next, L. Okay, this is going to be a cool list because they said, Modern Simic, I am making some assumptions about Modern Horizons 2. Updated 36 minutes ago. All right, we got Narset, Parter of Veils, Ascendant Spirit, Brazen Borrower, Hex Drinker, Icefang Quaddle, Shardless Agent. Definitely would be played in this deck, 100%. So we have See the Truth. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put 1 of those cards into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. This spell was cast from anywhere other than your hand. Put each of those cards in your hand instead. Oh, I see. So if it got played from your deck, we draw all 3, right? Interesting. Interesting. But why not something like... Somehow I want to say Ancestral Vision might be a better card than this one. That's interesting. Maybe it's time to spec on Ancestral Vision. Growth Spiral. I don't think this is a good Growth Spiral deck. Growth Spiral is great if you're trying to get to 4 mana, 5 mana, 6 mana, but everything in this deck is like pretty low on curve. Like it's not like you're ramping into Shardless Agent on turn 2 with Growth Spiral. I think this would be better off as Noble Hierarch, if anything else, but or nothing, or just something else. Saw It Coming? I don't know how great Saw It Coming is going to be in this. Oh no, maybe it's good. Maybe it's fine actually because you have Shard. It's not going to get hit by Shardless Agent. Okay. No, you can't replace it with Counterspell because if you do, you'll Shardless Agent into the Counterspell and you're going to get no value. At least with Saw It Coming. Well, I'm honestly not a fan of Saw It Coming. I would just play Force of Negation. I think it's just I think it's just going to be too hard to get this thing online. So we have Shark Typhoon. I think that's totally reasonable. That at least synergizes with Growth Spiral, but I don't know if they work together still. Faithless Haven? That is a lot. I mean, it's a good creature if you can get it online. I guess it's a 2-mana deck. So Prismatic Vista, Mystic Rainforest, Forest, and Island. You have 14 ways of getting a green source by turn 1. That's okay. You need double blue by never. Okay, we have a... What does this get? You may reveal a non-creature and online card from among them and put it into your hand. This card might not be playable in your deck because you have mostly creatures. You've created more creatures than anything else. If you add up all your other cards, you don't have... I don't know if you have enough... I don't think you have enough of these cards to make Narset relevant. I think you got to remove it. So I think you should remove Narset, play... I don't know what. Something else. I don't even think these cards are that great of hits. So I don't like Growth Spiral. Maybe... so what can we replace Growth Spiral with, people? I honestly think See the Truth should just be Ancestral Vision. I could be wrong. I don't even think you have a lot of things to do on turn 1 anyway. So we look at things you have to do on turn 1. Nothing. You just have Hex Drinker. So replace See the Truth with Ancestral Vision. It's been printed quite a few times, but who knows? This thing might go up when... This will spike when Shardless Agent gets printed. Because everyone's just want to play with this card. Explore? I still don't think Explore is worth it. Like, we're not ramping into anything. We don't need the extra mana. Cut Spiral and play Snappy. We don't have enough instant and sorceries. It's mostly a creature-based deck. Like, if you take out Spiral and play Snapcaster Mage, you're just playing it for Saw It Coming. Yeah, you don't want to cascade into counters, but I still think you'd be better off with Force of Negation instead of Saw It Coming. If this is a budget replacement, this is fine. This will be fine. Is there Well, not Abundant Harvest. I might go with what's it called? I don't think Abundant Harvest is useful. In fact, I don't even like this card at all. This is one of the most overrated cards that has been printed lately. A Jace would be good, actually. Yeah, any Jace. Even a 4-mana Jace would be pretty good. Because if you have 4-mana Jace, you can, like, manipulate the top of your library, put the See the Truth on the top, or Ancestral Vision. And then you, like, Shardless Agent into it. Yeah, Jace the Mind Sculptor would be infinitely better than Narset Parter of Veils. Well, it's not that, like, I don't think the format's too fast for Narset. But Narset is, like, doesn't have anything to grab in this deck because it's mostly creatures. Click is a possibility. Does this deck want Cryptic? It could play Cryptic. If it wanted to. It could play some Cryptic, so not a bad idea. Like, I have no problem with these. There might be a problem between Hexdrinker and Ascendant Spirit, because I imagine that there's enough room for one of these. But if in any game where you have two, like, they're just going to be eating. Like, they're going to be competing for your mana. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe 8 is fine. Whatever. I'm not going to complain too much. Narset, remove it. Add Jace. See the Truth. You could probably keep it as See the Truth, but I think that you should have Ancestral Vision, or at the very least, we have to remove Growth Spiral for something. That could be Ancestral Vision. Saw It Coming, I think, should be Force Negation. If you can't afford that, you want to play it Saw It Coming, that's totally fine. What the hell is this? We have Abrupt Decay here. Do we have a Swamp in this deck? We don't even have a Swamp. What the hell is this for? I just noticed this. We have Abrupt Decay in this sideboard. I still don't know if you can play counter. I mean, it's probably fine to play counterspell, but it's just a liability with Shardless Agent. That being said, hey, no, like you should have. Okay, one of these counterspell or remand. Okay, remand should be Veil of Summer. It's because you're green. You can play Veil of Summer. This is one of the best cards in the game. Or one of the best cards in Modern. How the hell are we casting this Abrupt Decay, though? Was this the remnants of some former version of the deck that had black in it? I'm assuming that this was supposed to be something else. Or this used to be Bug, but then it switched to Simic. Not a bad idea, turning it into Bug, though. How does this deck beat Heliod? Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's hoping some other deck beats. It wins with Shardless Agent, that's right. Yeah, we could probably use some Graveyard Hate in the sideboard. So remove some remands. Lovestruck Beast doesn't seem very important. Remand, so it's 3 to 4 Veil of Summers. Maybe play with Toski in the sideboard. Then we could have, instead of the Abrupt Decays, play with some Graveyard Hate. You're not even using your graveyard, I don't think, anywhere in this deck, so you could possibly play with something like you could potentially play with something like Relic of Progenitus, for example. Yeah, Surgical Extraction is totally reasonable as well. Just one more thing before I leave this archetype. It probably would work pretty well as a Bug deck. I mean, weak to Blood Moon, but like it probably worked pretty well because then you get some really good graveyard. You get Unmoored Ego to really beat up Heliod. You would have access to Inquisition of Kozilek and Thoughtseize as some pretty good turn 1 plays. And you would have access to Abrupt Decay if you needed it too. Anyway, that's my feedback. Oh yeah, and Leovold might come out. And if Leovold comes out, which was a leak, unconfirmed leak, this deck would love that. Absolutely love it. Anyway, that's it for Coffee and MTG. That is it for today. If you want to see the replay, see all the discussion on Modern Horizons 2, don't forget to check out Nikachu MTG Streams, my alternate YouTube channel. If I didn't get your comments, questions, or deck list, we do this Monday to Friday at 9 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. Be there or be square. If you want to support Coffee and MTG and you are not already, you can leave a sub at twitch.tv. You can become a patron at patreon.com, or you can join me on YouTube. So as usual, thank you very much, everyone, for showing up. It was a fantastic conversation today. Really exciting news, Modern Horizons 2, and the spoilers. We're not going to see anything for a little while, but May 24th is when they're going to start rocking us with more spoilers. They're going to come out heavy and hard. So be prepared. I want to say spec. Like, keep in mind what. Start crafting deck lists based on some cards that you think are going to come out. You know, be prepared for these. Be prepared for the new cards that are coming out, because it's going to be a whole new Modern format. You know it's going to be. So keep brewing up that coffee, and we'll keep brewing up magic. See you guys next time.